Uh, we went to high school. I was a year ahead of her in high school. We played in the band and orchestra, and we sit side by side both times. So after about a year and a half, we got pretty well acquainted. I graduated and left her to one more year of school and was drafted into the Army about 2 weeks after I graduated from school. I trained in California and was shipped to the South Pacific in the infantry. I joined the 32nd Infantry Division, and we had beachheads all through New Guinea, Biak, Morotai, and into the Philippines. After a short stay in the Philippines, I contacted malaria and dermatitis, which is a jungle rot of the skin. We pick up a mite in the jungle that would rot the flesh off your body. I got a severe case of that plus malaria. Went down from 180 to 118 pounds. So they sent me to a hospital in Biak. At that time they didn't have penicillin, they had sulfa, and it didn't do any good. After a couple of months they sent me to San Francisco to Letterman General Hospital. We were there for just a short time, but the weather was too moist for the dermatitis to dry up. So they decided to send me to Camp Carson Hospital in Colorado Springs. In doing so, I had to go through Utah, and they gave me a 3-day delay en route. I got home on a Friday night, she being only 18 and me 19, and we had to have a blood test in Utah at that time, and we didn't have time to do it, but we could go to Nevada and get one there the next day. We convinced her parents we should get married, and we took both of our mothers with us, and we went to Peotes, Nevada, which is the county seat in that area, the closest Nevada town that would have a county seat for us. But it was Saturday. We had a hard time finding the clerk to get us a marriage license. But we did find him, and he went down to the courthouse and gave us a license. And he's recommended that we get married in Panaca. He says there's a justice for the peace in Panaca. He kind of directed us to his farm home. He said he can marry us. So we drove and found the home. The woman was at home, his wife, and she invited us in, and we told her what we wanted, and her husband was out in the farm working, so she went to the back door and screamed at him, come in, and he come in with these irrigation boots on and an old straw hat, and he took his straw hat off, threw it up on had an old pump organ that you pumped with your feet and played. He threw his hat up there and talked to us for a few minutes and got his book, and then his wife played the organ for us while he was doing some of this stuff to make it kind of like a special wedding. But in the meantime, it was a warm day. It was in March, but it was warm down there. And they left the wood door open, that the screen door was on, but it had a great big hole in it that looked like a dog had went through it or something, and they had numerous chickens out in the yard. And while he was talking and performing this ceremony, the chickens were jumping in and out through that hole in the screen and running around our feet and his feet. And he performed the ceremony, and we were married and went home. It wasn't much of a special ceremony. It was a marriage, but that was about all. And then after I got out of the service, we were married in the Salt Lake Temple. I was assigned to the 32nd Infantry Division, and we had 5 beachheads on New Guinea, and one in Biak and one in Mortai. In Mortai, we were there to prepare for the Philippines. They wanted to build an airstrip on this island, and we had to clear the island of the Japanese and help build an airstrip. But this one night, we had a terrible air attack by the Japanese on us, and I and another member of our ward, I didn't know him at that time, but he was there with another outfit, and we both survived this terrible bombing. And we got the airstrip done, and then we moved to Leyte in the Philippines, and we went in on D-Day with the landing boards. Had to jump out of the barge into water about armpit deep and fight the Japs. We cleared the first city, was called Tacloban, and then they decided they had to divide the Japanese. They had a strong hold on the island, but there was a big highway that went down through the center of the island, and they wanted us to go in and cut them off so that we could split them and drive them back to the sea. I was a communication man, and we had to take radio communication up to an outpost that a squad went up to monitor the area. And after we got up there, why, they decided that they better have telephone. So I went back to our headquarters and got wire and strung a wire up to this post. It was on top of a little knoll hill. As I got up there, why, the mortar shells started to drop in, and all of the fellows that were there had foxholes dug, but I didn't have one. And all of a sudden there was a Japanese machine gun just down the trail. I noticed it, and they were ready to shoot. I couldn't get in a foxhole, so I run down about 20 feet down to a log, and I laid behind this log. I must have been there for a couple hours maybe while they were shooting, and the bullets were going over. I could hear them zooming, and bark was splitting off the trees, and sap was hitting my face, but I laid there, and as long as I could stay down, why, they couldn't hit me. And finally the Japanese dropped some mortars in on this gun position, which fell short from what they wanted, and got the machine gun, 2 guys that was doing the machine gun. And so we got out, but that was about the closest call that I had. We lost lots of men. When I joined the company I was in, we had 168 men, and when I left them, there was only 8 of the original 168 were still there. And that's when I went to the hospital.
Well, we lived just across the street from each other, and I used to always wait till I could see him come out to go to school. He was one grade ahead of me, and so I would watch him when he was out, and I'd run, and so I just happened to walk to school with him, you know. And it was just a lot of fun we had, and we both played in the band, and we thought that was really great. What else did we do that we...
Well,
our parents liked both of us because we lived next to each other, and they liked each of us. But
her folks really liked me, and
oh yeah.
I told her if we ever divorced that I was going back and live with her folks, and she'd have to go somewhere else. So I guess that's what kept us together for 66 years.
Well, it was fun living that close to each other. We liked each other and we liked the rest of the family. We had, other ones in the family that were about our age, and we enjoyed every minute of being together, didn't we?
Yeah.
But I used to follow him at first. He had to go to school just 2 or 3 minutes to get ahead of me, He'd come out and get in, and so I'd watch, and then I'd break and run and go to get there to go with him. And I know everybody thought I was kind of funny, but I thought it was pretty nice.
Another thing that's kind of unique is that her parents were in Oakley, Idaho when they first were married, and they had 4 children in Oakley, Idaho. And then he was transferred to Oakley, Utah. He was a cheesemaker for Brooklyn Creamery. So the next 3 were born in Oakley, Utah. Well, when we start doing genealogy, everybody that was not in our family, oh, you've got a mistake there. You've got Oakley, Idaho and Oakley, Utah. But it was the right Oakley, Utah and the right Oakley, Idaho for each one.